We have a team D and chief guest arriving. Welcome you, sir. A very good morning to you all. And a warm welcome. I, on behalf of Sarda and Sarda, welcome each and everyone for this wonderful occasion, wherein we are going to present our achievements, the efforts that we have put into this journey of TPM. We have with us our distinguished guests, the HODs, the pillar chairpersons. I would at the very outset request our DMT leader, sir, to come on to the dais. It's an honor now to welcome our chief guest, Mr. Bipin Sani, Executive Director, CI Institute of Quality, Bangalore. Mr. Bipin Sani has over 30 years of experience working with premier quality organizations of the country. He has been working as Executive Director, CII Institute of Quality since July 2017. Prior to joining CII, he was CEO of National Accreditation Board of Education and Training, Quality Council of India, where he developed many innovative accreditation schemes. He served QCI for over 18 years. He has represented India in many international forums, including International Accreditation Forum, IAF, Pacific Accreditation Corporation, PAC, and as a member of various national and international committees, including Indian Standards Board Bureau of the Indian Standards. At CIIQ, he has played a key role in development of new product offerings in quality, diversifying into new sectors like healthcare, services, exports, etc. During his tenure, the Institute of Quality has signed many collaborative arrangements with premier national and international bodies for building competitiveness of the industry. Sir, we are very honored to have you with us. Let's all give up for Mr. Vivek Sani. May I also request the one gentleman who has been with us to the thick and thin, who has been toiling with us, and the main reason why we are here and what we are going to do, the main force behind us, Mr. Ravi Joshi, our teaching consultant, to come on to the bench. Welcome you, sir. May I request our DMD leader, sir, to present a flower bouquets to our chief guest, Mr. Vipin Sani. Mr. Ravi Joshi. May I request DMD sir, Vipin Sani sir, and Ravi Joshi sir to light the lamp, start the program proceedings. We also have amongst us CEO of Maple Software, Shivkumar sir. Welcome you, sir. Let's give it up for Shivkumar. May I now request our DMD, Mr. Sarda, to address the gathering after his inaugural speech. Sir, please.
Thank you, Murli. First of all, very warm welcome to Sri Sahani, Mr. Ravi San, all the invited guests, my colleagues and friends here. Thank you so much. We have been looking forward to this day and preparing for it over the last 2 years. So there's a lot of satisfaction that we have gone through a lot of ups and downs and I would say tense moments in order to reach this state. So I have 3 minutes. A lot of things are packed up. So honestly, I'll tell you, and I think I must have mentioned it before to all our MMM team members that how did we actually started this journey and all. And when you're doing your engineering, you hear these phrases of TQM, TPM, and production engineering. So we also had TQM and production engineering. I did not like it at all. Honestly, I thought that it's completely a waste of time. Why are we studying these things? So that was my first brush with all these various things in engineering. And after that, during my MBA, I came across this book on Toyota production system. That also I read because everybody was talking about 2000s, and then Toyota was kind of taking over practically the automobile industry by storm. It had already established itself as one of the leading players, but I think by 2007 or 8, it became the #1 car company in the world by selling almost like 10 million vehicles is what I remember. So 2004-5 again, we were talking during those period about Toyota a lot. So I bought that book, I read it. Again, a lot of it kind of was an outsider to me because I couldn't understand it. But then, when practically coming into the field, setting up this whole unit, so setting up a plant is something different, but running a plant is a completely different story. Because setting up, we are all excited about setting up things, we get the best equipments, and probably I would, in our industry today, in the country, there is no plant like this that exists, because we have partnered with all the leading companies in the world. All the critical equipments are still coming and being imported. I'd just like to welcome my dear friend Mr. Raju, and also past chairman of CIA Andhra Pradesh. Thank you both of you for taking out your valuable time on a very short notice and witnessing this moment with us. Thank you so much. And so setting up the plant was very exciting, but when we came to the running of it, it was again a very steep learning curve, because the whole team was new. The technology which was here, nobody had a prior experience to run such large capacity furnaces in India. These are the biggest furnaces in the private sector in manganese alloy. There's only one plant that exists under SAIL, which is called as Maharashtra Electrosmelt Chandrapur, which was taken over by SAIL because it was not running up to the capacity. And still it's not running up to the full capacity. So then we had our own problems and issues in order to run the furnaces when we started. And then there was a period from 2015 onwards when we actually started running the ferroalloys, that we were kind of going from one crisis to another crisis to another crisis. So the whole team was always kind of, trying to address one thing or the other, because it was a lot of steep learning curve for us. And at that point of time, we started the 5S journey, and we were discussing and debating a lot about implementation of TPM. None of us, I would say, in the team would have had experience. Maybe one or two people who have worked in the organization knew about TPM. Even I didn't know about TPM. I just read briefly, and I did not, because there are so many things. You have 5S, then we talk about Six Sigma implementation, then you have TPM, TQM, and all those things. But for a lot of people, it is like a haze. Where do you start and where do you begin this journey? So coincidentally, 5S probably is the basic step that you take. So we started that thing. But TPM, we had no idea what we are getting into. But I think it was more of a hunch that no, we have to do this, because the only thing I wanted that people should not come here in stress and again wake up that there's going to be stress at the workplace. And I think the gut feeling that we had that TPM probably would be a very good solution for us to go ahead with, proved kind of right. So I think after 2 years of going through it, understanding it, we realized that it is much wider in scope than we could have imagined. My only idea was that, we should not be going from crisis to crisis. We should just be having more time to think ahead. That was the basic idea. I did not have any idea or exposure to TPM, neither did anybody in our team. So, for that matter, I would say that in the last 2 years, what we have learned is, after going through the modules, it has given us totally different perspective to look at things. And I think most of our TPM members who are part of the MMMs, now when they go to the work floor, they can look at the machine in a very different perspective. And when I also go to the work floor with them, I also have a different perspective at which to look at the workplace. And I think that is a very important thing, because in our parent organization, the maintenance organization, you have a central maintenance team and then you have the operation team. And this is a continuous struggle between the maintenance team and the operation team, that if some breakdown is there, it is your job. It's not my job. And I think TPM more is a cultural change rather than actually what you're doing. It is a cultural change. It is more about owning what you are running. And the shift itself is very challenging. From except specialized maintenance, everything has to come to the operation team, still gives indigestion to a lot of people. And I think still the acceptance takes a lot of time to come, because they have not done it before. And the whole concept of working in silos is basically responsible for this kind of a attitude that normally we see in the manufacturing industry. I've seen at my parent plant also, it's the same thing, and here also it's the same thing for us. But here when we started, the technology has advanced so much, because for the same amount of production today here, we have probably 1/3 the manpower as compared to what we have in Raipur. So that gave us a very good advantage, that we have a smaller team. We have people from all, there's no legacy here. So everybody is coming from a different background. Why not we try to change this concept? So right from the starting itself, we focused on how we can have more ownership. And I think TPM has aided us in achieving that thing, that, and I personally feel that that's the right way to go, because once you have that, and I think the subsequent presentation will be able to show that what has been achieved and how we have been able to achieve it. So first, I think, personally, I feel it's a cultural change, it's a mindset change. It gives a different perspective and a different class for you to look at things. And another aspect that I personally felt was, you take pride in looking at your own workplace, and it motivates you to come back again to make it better. And just for the information of all our invited guests and all, normally in the process industry, the raw material handling section is the worst area, because it is so dusty and it is so horrible, because you are dealing with all kind of material, right from 0 mm to 50 mm. So there is a lot of -3 mm which comes in place, and which kind of creates a very horrible environment if proper systems are not in place. So we threw a challenge to our team when we started with TPM. During that, I think in the initial few months, we threw a challenge to the team that we want to have lunch when our screens are running. That was the challenge we gave it to our team. And I think within a year and a half, they organized a lunch on the screening platform where coal was being screened. And that's the transformation that you can achieve. And I think when you have that kind of work environment, it motivates you to come back the next day, rather than you feel a burden that when I go back, there are so many problems. So I think apart from cultural change, a big aspect of TPM is you take pride on the workplace that you create. And I think in the MMMs we have been successful in order to achieve that to a large extent. I think our MMM members would feel, I'm assuming that they would feel same of what they have created in CHP, RMHS, tapping platform, content rolling machine, and the slack granulation area. So I hope that this journey of MMM has given a lot of exposure to the tools and application of those tools of our core MMM teams. And once we kick off, I hope each one of them would probably lead a separate team of people and kind of create this whole environment throughout the organization. Another thing which I realized is that when we started doing this TPM, there are so many inputs that we took from this into our expansion. As 1 point lessons and how do we avoid such mistakes. So the third furnace that we are putting up, there's a lot of input and all the lessons that we have learned in this last 2 years, we have brought it into it, and hopefully that would be a much better version as compared to the furnace 1 and 2. So with this short address, there's a lot that we can talk, but I think I'll leave it for the subsequent presentations where our pillar chairpersons would actually do justice and share their journeys. So thank you so much. Thanks a lot. And thank you
so much. May I now humbly request our chief guest, Mr. Vipin Sani, to address the gathering and share his thoughts and practices.
The complete Sarda team and my colleague, of course, who's working with you all. I would say it's a very privilege. It's really a privilege to be here and represent CI Institute of Quality in this, if I may say so, a very auspicious and even historic occasion of TPM kickoff. I would say it's a journey which is today, it's being formalized not only for adoption of TPM technology, but an occasion of voluntarily taking a responsibility, making your company a better, a greater, a world class, the best in the class, and a benchmark for others to learn. So it's a very, very important occasion for the whole of and why I say so, because when I did a little bit of my, I have a habit of looking at the company's background and I did some research. I was very touched by the philosophy of the company. It said, nurturing the business is a requisite part. It should take its own source of growth in business. So fantastic statement, sir. And then guided by the group's ideology, which says we often find ourselves at the crossroads of hardships and compelled to make tough decisions. But we must take decisions ethical in nature and benefiting to people and society at large for the greater. What an amazing philosophy. So that's what it says, that the fundamentals of a company are strong like this, and it is backed by ambitious leadership like Mr. Vigar. And team of professionals, of course, there is nothing that it cannot achieve. And that's how my confidence is emanating, the way the company has steered itself, especially during the last 2 years and the very challenging times that Mr. Vigar was also sharing. So that's where I'm very confident that there are many, many more milestones that you can achieve. As I say that amidst these challenges, the company has been successful in maintaining its growth rate in exports, where it achieved the exports of more than 201 crores, whatever I could gather.
That's old, and I think this year has crossed that.
It's crossed that. And I think indeed, in fact, even the export house status from BGFT. So that
3-star.
3-star. So I stand corrected. And even the production has gone up quite a lot, quite tremendously. So I won't see the figures now. Maybe these are old figures.
Yeah.
So just briefly to share with you also about the CIIQ wherein I come from. We started a journey of helping the industry in late 80s when the economy was opening up. And CII Institute of Quality was the first center of excellence amid the 11 centers of excellence that today CII has. And it's been almost a 30 years of journey. In this journey, we have had forged collaborative arrangements with many national and international organizations like Japan Institute of Plant Maintenance, under which we are offering the DPM, the Union of Japanese Scientists and Engineers, EFQM, Testing Inspection, Certification Council, Border Information, and many more. So the idea has been to not reinvent the wheel, but move with speed and agility to support the growth of the industry. So that and to bring in the best practices to enable the industry to reach that international benchmark. So that is what we have been working with. I'm also told that the initial trial of the model machines has been a great success, and that is the part of the whole company. So heartiest congratulations to the DPM team and all the people who are involved in this process. And especially when you consider that the existing market of around $50 billion of ferroalloys, which is estimated to grow at a rate of almost $70 billion with a minimum CAGR of 5.5%. I think we should be able to increase our potential through DPM. That would be the litmus test. And considering the current geopolitical environment we all are very well aware of, I think even these estimates of CAGR of 5.5% may increase with the way the things are. So it's an opportunity for companies who are having the right PQCD, say product quality, cost and delivery, and a huge potential for you to grow. Amidst this, you are at the right time, at the right place, with the right technology. That's what I can say. And that's what the model machine is telling you. I'm also eager to see the Kaizens and the GAMBA on what all that we have carried out. Just to share a little bit about our TPM club. We, as the CI TPM club, we are assisting at an average of about 200 to 250 companies directly through consulting, hand-holding, and all that. And over the years since we came into being, close to about 3,000 companies have been supported by the TPM club. But of course, many of the companies start the journey, but in between they, for some reasons, they have not followed it to its ultimate end. And that's why we see roughly around 400 odd companies which have achieved the laurels with the GIDM awards. But even if you consider that 400 companies, till last year, almost 40% of the international awards, that is Japan Institute of Plant Maintenance awards, were being won by the Indian companies. Only last year China has overtaken us, and which we as a CI TPM club are now taking a resolve that we would not only retain 40%, we would go up to 50% in the next 2 years. And that is what is that we are aspiring for, and we need your support, your help to further propagate this and to ensure that you also spread the good benefits that you have got and encourage other people also to come for it. So at the end, all I can say is that we are there with you in this journey. Anytime, anywhere, we are there with you. And we, as I was discussing with Mr. Neeraj, that we now need to work collaboratively in AP and in other states also to carry this torch forward. And I would look forward to, sir, your support to make it happen soon. And look at your guidance to tell us also how we can even further support the industry. That is what we are doing. So thank you so much. Glad to be here, and I am eagerly looking forward to all the presentations and also visiting the GAMBA to see the good work that you have done. Of course, it's a learning for me also. That's a secret. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts and needs. Before we will go ahead with the presentation by different members and teams, I request all the people on the dance floor if the seats over there in the sofa, so that the luminous arrangements can be done. May I now request
and vendors and all colleagues. This is the day for which at least I have been waiting very eagerly for last 1 year, I should say. I was just thinking when we will go for the kickoff, so that whatever we have learned, whatever we are experiencing, that we can spread across the organization. And today is the day when we have come down here to formally announce the kickoff of TPM and rolling it out across the organization. I will just share with you this journey experience, being a not only HR head but also as the coordinator of TPM. I have got connected with this TPM implementation in our organization right from the beginning, along with all our team members. I remember the day when I had seen one invitation for attending one program which was conducted in Bangalore for TPM rice distribution. I went to Bangalore to attend that function, and it gave me some confidence that yes, this is a new thing which we can bring in our organization, because by that time we had implemented the IMS and we had almost achieved the maturity in that. So that was the time to bring a new vibration in our organization. It was required to have a new system, a new tool in the place, so that our people can get involved in that and can bring more values to the organization. So when I went through that advertisement, the invitation, I got wanted to attend it. So I went to Bangalore, attended that, and after seeing all the presentation of different organizations, the way they had shown that how the transformation has happened because of the TPM, I got thrilled. I thought, why not to bring in our organization also? And after returning from there, I just discussed with Neil sir, and I don't know, though he told that he was not believing on TPM in his special days, but immediately he didn't take even a minute time to say, yes, go ahead, implement that. And then my challenge was how to whom to partner with, where to go for this implementation. As I had already attended the CII program, I was having confidence that CII can help us to implement that. And so I just started searching over Google to whom to approach first. So on the net, I identified the name of Ravi San, which was mentioned there along with the mobile number. So I immediately contacted him. I showed my interest that yes, sir, we want to implement that TPM. Can you help us? He told yes, I am ready to come and will meet with your people, with your team management, so that we can start the journey. In March, somewhere in 2019, he came down here. He had given a 2 hours presentation to all our senior team to make us aware what exactly TPM is. Because we all were new for this concept, we were not knowing ABC of TPM. And that was the point where we started thinking, yes, that team was aligned that yes, we also should be going for the implementation. And from there, our journey began. Initially, when we started, there were a lot of hiccups. There were a lot of paradigm among us, many of our team members. We were thinking earlier this TPM is mainly meant for automobile sector, not for a conventional manufacturing unit like us. Many one have been challenging that it will not succeed. Whatever TPM we are planning, probably will not succeed, and it will be difficult for our type of organization to actually implement the concept of it. Yes, that is actually quite obvious and quite natural paradigm which everyone used to have, because we have seen very few organizations, manufacturing organizations like us, who actually have implemented a TPM and have got success. Nevertheless, in CII-IQ, Institute of Quality, initially Sunil San was there, Sunil Malgi, who was coming here as a TPM consultant, and he began his the implementation process with the training program on paradigm shift, because that was the turning point which made us to think that whatever we have been thinking is impossible, that is possible. And with that, we began our journey. No doubt, it took pretty long time, about 2.5 years, to complete our TPM journey. We all know why it took, because somewhere perhaps we have selected very big size of Gemba. Also because of the 3 layers of COVID, which actually hampered our pace of implementing it. Nevertheless, we got success. We took time, no doubt, but we got the success. And there are times, the way what Dheeraj also expressed, where I was thinking, that it is not possible that we can have such a turnaround where it is very difficult to stand without a nose mask for even 1 minute. We can have a lunch. We did that. So all credit goes to the team members who actually made it possible. I also had seen one of the TPM, that is coal handling plant. Before TPM, when we had been going in that area of Groundhopper, it was very difficult to move. The entire chute was going inside the accumulation of the coal dust there. There, we will take our guest today to visit that TPM also to show that how the transformation has happened, what the situation is as today, and it is very difficult for even to guess that what it was earlier before the implementation of TPM. So we have covered that journey, we have seen the transformation, we have seen that TPM also can give a very good result to a manufacturing company like us. And with that confidence, with that learning whatever we have for the last 2.5 years, I'm sure our journey forward will be very, very smooth and easy. Why I was eagerly waiting for this? Because after seeing so many achievements, I was thinking why to make it constrained to only TPM, this 4 years. Why not roll it out across the organization so that the organization can get more benefit? And I'm sure that the team, the way they have got developed, all our MMM members, the chairman and vice chairmen of our all 8 pillars, we can implement that very effectively. We can achieve all the targets, whatever we get from management or we set for ourselves. Though the journey is long, but at least we have begun. We have started that long journey. And with each milestone, achieving different milestone of it, we'll be getting more confidence, our morale also will be going very high, and there will be a big transformation overall within 2 to 3 years time to see the changes what we get in our company. And maybe that, as Sani Saab told, that we should set example for the others. They should also get motivated to see that how TPM can be a game changer for us, for any company. And I'm sure that we will be able to achieve it, sir. It may take some 2 years or 3 years time, but I'm sure that with this team, with this motivation, the way we are implementing it, we will be able to achieve it. So thank you very much for coming here. Thank you very much to all our guests, to all our members, to come here and see the dream day for me at least to go for the keynote. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for sharing your experience and the journey of TPM the last couple of years. Moving ahead, we will be requesting all the village chairmen with the presentations. Before that, we also have a presentation by our team leader, Sarda sir. May I request our DMD leader Sarda sir to go over his presentation and share it with us. Thoughts, achievements, and what he should see before.
Very good morning once again to all of you. Let me just take you through this presentation, especially for our invited guests. Most of you are familiar with it, but Mrs. Sahani and our invited guests, I just take you through this journey. Are you able to see it? So this is just a brief about Sarda Group, our parent company Sarda Energy and Minerals Limited. It's a listed entity on both BSE and NSE, and under Sarda we have a couple of subsidiaries. Sarda Metals and Alloys also one of the major subsidiaries under Sarda Energy and Minerals. Apart from that, we are having a growing portfolio of hydro projects. Madhya Bharat Power Corporation is our biggest hydro expansion, which also we recently commissioned last year. It's a 96 megawatt power plant that got commissioned. Incidentally, both Sarda Metals and Madhya Bharat hydro project in Sikkim started in the same year, but it got completed after 10 years of commissioning of Sarda Metals. So that's the kind of challenge that is there in constructing hydropower projects. Then we have Parvatiya Power, that was our first venture into hydropower, 4.8 megawatt, that's in Uttaranchal. Sarda Metals, Sarda Global, under which we have coal mining interests in Indonesia. So this is a brief. Apart from that, we have a growing portfolio of dairy products under a Vachan brand name, which is predominant in central India, Madhya Bharat, Maharashtra, and slowly its reach is spreading. Under that, we have all products related to dairy. We have our own milk, ghee, butter, dahi, lassi. So we are basically competing under that with the giants like Amul and all. And after starting that business, we realized that our business is much simpler than running a daily business. So this is again, currently we have 180 megawatt power plant, 2 into 36 MVA ferroalloy furnace, investment till date. I'll not go into all those things. We were a 2-star, recently only we got a 3-star export house. So there are 5 stars which the central government gives to any business depending upon what is the percentage of, what's the actual amount of exports they do. So 3-star means you are above $100 million in your exports, and 4-star is above $500 million of exports, and 5-star is above $2 billion in exports. So this year we got 3-star export status. So this is just about a brief about our plant, that we are the largest ferroalloy furnace in the country, and the reason where most of the furnaces are in the range of 16 MVA, 9 MVA to 16 MVA, we decided to take the jump to 36 MVA. Basically, it's written 33 MVA, but our capacity is 36 MVA, and the basic reason was that when we started this plant was that smaller plants won't see a longer duration, and we have to go and scale up in order to remain relevant in the business. Because today when we see the history of ferroalloy industry across the globe, where South Africa, Europe, France, Japan, and all these countries, they started with smaller furnaces, but today only few plants are surviving which have completely scaled up to the limit. Rest all the plants are shut down. So there are plants where they have 50 furnaces ranging from 2 MVA up to 80 MVA, but today only the 80 MVA one are surviving. Rest everything is shut down. And many plants have shut down which were of smaller capacities. And then we have the casting. And just to point out that initially when we started, so we were also quite new. Casting, we had one casting machine for 2 furnaces, but I think today ours is the only plant in India which has direct casting machine right connected to the tap hole. That doesn't exist in India. There are only 2 other plants that I am aware of. One is in Australia called as Tempo, and the second one exists in South Africa, which is under South 32. So these are the only 2 plants which have direct casting from a ferroalloy furnace. And obviously we have the captive power. When we started this plant, that point of time we were the first one to bring in captive power in ferroalloy. So just for the information of our guest, Andhra Pradesh actually is the birthplace of ferroalloy industry in India. And right next to here, FECOR used to be the first company which brought ferroalloys technology to India. which is in Vijayanagaram district. So this is the birthplace of ferroalloys in the country, and the credit goes to a couple of business houses, 2-3 of them, which actually, most of the people have actually joined these companies, which I would say are institutions which have, generated a whole breed of ferroalloy experts in the country today. We were the only one to bring in a captive power plant. At that point of time, power cost of the state was 1 rupee cheaper than us. It was 2 rupees 40 paisa. And when we projected our captive power plant, it was supposed to come up 3 rupees 50 paisa. By the time we commissioned the project, the entire southern region was in power crisis. There was no power available. Similar situation, 50% power holiday was given. And after that, the state's power became 1 rupee expensive than us. We never thought that we will see this summer again, because there was such a lot of capacity addition in the whole thing, but I think the disruption of COVID and a lot of other factors in the war has brought again a power crisis in the country. So today, ours is the only plant running in the state, though at an expensive power at 100% capacity, rest everybody is at a 50% capacity. So we always thought that for bigger furnaces, you need to have your own quality power, because almost 50% of our product cost is power consumption. So this is just the journey. From 2017-18, we commissioned the plant in 13-14. From that point onwards, our 9-month this year results are almost 755. As per our finance department, right now I cannot declare the full year results because we are a listed entity, but you can gauge that it's going to be much higher than this year. Who are our major customers? Japan. We export almost 54% of our products to Japan. Then it's UAE, Thailand, Taiwan, Turkey. But overall, it keeps changing. But these are the 5 major export countries, and we actually export to more than 35 countries directly or indirectly. So these are our marquee customers. We supply to practically all the major steel mills. In India also we supply, exports also. Japan uses a lot of our material because the Japanese product quality is very, very specific. So it's just a sample of the companies that we supply to. Rewards and recognitions, we got a 2-star export house in the initial years. Now we got a 3-star export house status. And one of our recent achievements was to get a 4-star rating. Not a 4-star rating, actually when we started we wanted to get a 5-star rating. For the first 3 years we only got 3-star rating. I think then we got a 4-star rating, and this year we got a 5-star rating, but CII has changed the norms. So now it is not any star rating, it is bronze, silver and gold and platinum. So the categories now, people are continuously getting 5-star ratings. So what beyond that? So now they came up that, okay, if you repeat a 5-star rating, you get into gold. If you have 3 or 4 years of 5-star rating, you get into platinum or something like that. So we got a 5-star rating, but we still got a silver. Next year definitely we will get a gold. This is our quality policy and TPM policy. I'll not go into the EHS policy or QEHS policy. I'll just read out the TPM policy. What we are achieving by adopting TPM, we want 0 defects, 0 breakdowns, 0 accident and 0 losses. Effective process ownership that I spoke about with total employee participation. Training involving empowering the people and encouraging Kaizen activities. Safe, clean and pleasant working environment. Pleasant is very important because today we are continuously in stress for one reason or the other. And one of the major reasons of stress that comes is through work. So we want our people to really have a good time and enjoy the challenges of working rather than managing the crisis. So pleasant working environment for higher employee morale, continual improvement of productivity and reduction in cost, improved customer satisfaction by delivering quality products and services on time. So this is the best. So recently we also participated in the newly launched CII Industrial Safety Excellence Awards because we got the best safety performer recognition in this thing. So as I mentioned, couple of awards after our journey in TPM, and I think we all should be proud about that, because coming from a process industry, bagging these awards in competition to pharmaceutical industries, giants like L&T is not easy. So we should definitely, really feel proud about this achievement, and this is all because of our journey in TPM. We got the Silver Award for Innovative Category Kaizen Competition in 2021. This is for which particular MMM? CHP got this award. National Kaizen Competition, we got a Platinum Award. This was for Innovation Category. I think this was for RMHS. This was for RMHS, where the team entirely created a new contraception for feeding the product into the groundhopper. Star Champion Innovative Category, again National Kaizen Competition 2021. This was for RMHS. Okay. Breakthrough Kaizen. This is the most difficult category of award to get the highest category. Breakthrough Kaizens. We got the first award in this category for Breakthrough Kaizens for our bricketing plant. So a big round of applause for each and every one of you, our team members of MLM. So, this is the vision and mission of Sarda Metals, to become the most preferred, sustainable and largest manganese alloy producer in India. Mission is to build globally competitive and best-in-class products and deliver highest value to our stakeholders and communities. To innovate and inspire people for environment and resource conservation. This is a very important part, because based out of, how much time do I have? 5 more minutes? I'll wrap it up in 2. So this is a very important aspect of our whole journey, because we took a 3-day campaign of waste to wealth, and how do we, so we all key members, we went outside, we stayed 2 days, we had a consultant who's been associated with us for a long time. How do we convert our waste? Because as we go forward, a lot of waste will be generated into wealth. So out of that, we came up with a 3-4 year journey through which we are now going to put up another line, which will be the first of its kind in India, and it's going to be disruptive for the traditional industry. So we are almost on the finalization of that line, where we'll start with consuming our own slag into a very high value added product. And I personally feel that in a commodity industry, there are only 2 ways you can be ahead of the curve. One is by scale, and second, by disruption. So this is going to be a very classic example of a disruption in our industry, where most of the people, the cost curves of those people versus ours will be very different, and this is going to be a very big edge for us. So that is, sustainability is a very important part. We are coming up with a couple of measures in order to have sustainability measures built into our product and reduce our carbon footprint. What are the values? Tenacity, trust, transformation, teamwork and timeliness. So 5 T's is what we have chosen there. I would like to point out our transformation, where we are agile and transforms ourselves into better us each and every day by Kaizen, to improve our business operations through continuous learning and innovation. And Genshi Genbutsu, practicing on-site hands-on experience by going to the source, finding facts, building consensus, making correct decisions, and achieving goals as fast as possible. Why TPM? I think I've already described, so I'll just skip this slide. I've already said basic things why we want to adopt TPM and why it should be an ingrained part of any manufacturing setup, not just ours. I would say any manufacturing setup. So these are the 8 pillars of TPM. Jishu Rosen, Kogetsu Kaizen, plan maintenance, quality maintenance, development management, education and training, safety, health and environment, and office. So all the people sitting in the support function in the city office, you need to get ready, because office TPM is going to kick in now once we do the kickoff. So I think we have already started this journey. Mr. Chandrasekhar is already here, probably he'll explain about office TPM and how TPM is just not related to production process, but any process where there is certain steps that a decision needs to take or a file needs to move, and how you can cut losses there. So I think that's going to be interesting because ultimately the movement of paper for taking approval, or let me call it the whole process of checks and balances and bureaucracy, delays the decision making process in an organization. So this is going to bring in that efficiency. And we do have the various pillar chairs. And this was our organization master plan. I think we started in 2019, and in April of 2022 we are going to kick off. We got delayed by a year, I would say, because of COVID, and also because of the challenging MMMs that we took. So these were the two main reasons. Nevertheless, in Hindi mein kehte hain, "Der hai durust hai." I think we have come here durust, absolutely strong. This is the most important slide for everyone. So these are the places where, these are the only 4 areas which we took up: mudgun, slag granulation, coal handling and raw material handling. And 2 important aspects. We were having close to 70 breakdowns in these 4 areas on a monthly basis, which today are absolutely 0. And that is a big achievement because these were the areas where we were struggling and something or the other was happening and everybody was just busy firefighting. So this is the impact of TPM. When you have 70 breakdowns, the operations team, everybody is just spending their energy to, going from one breakdown to the next breakdown. And just see in these 4 areas, we have been able to save 1 crore rupees per annum. So this was a loss which was not visible to us. But when we started getting into the details of it, we realized that this is a loss. It could be an opportunity loss or a hard cost loss, but it is a loss. So in these 4 areas, where we can save 1 crore, when we roll it out across the organization, I'm very sure it's not going to be less than 10 crores that we are losing here in the system. And this 10 crores easily is going to add to our bottom line. Apart from making us more competitive in the market, it is also going to make our lives easier. When you don't have breakdowns, practically you are just looking for a different challenge. So it's going to make the whole journey very interesting for all of us. Now this is my last slide. This is just our 10-year plan that we carved out, I think, over a couple of iterations and discussions and that 3 days. So our objective is down the line, 2030, we want to be at least 500,000 ferroalloy production capacity here in this location. That's a single location plant. And we also have, so this is getting commissioned right now. So we have furnace 1 and 2, 36 MVA, another furnace is coming on stream in 22. We want to add another furnace by 2024. Now this is going to be a quantum leap for us. From 36 MVA to 81 MVA. 81 MVA is the largest size of furnace that exists in the world today. We don't have anything like this in India, but this is going to be a very big challenge because it requires a lot of process streamlining in terms of raw material, and that's something which is beyond our control. So here we have to see how we jump from 36 to 81 MVA. I think the way we are going ahead, we'll find solutions of running these large furnaces. But that's it. And this is our mineral wool line which is going to come up. So first we are starting with the 25,000 tons where we are converting our entire waste into fiber, which has a lot of potential both in the domestic as well as the export market. Being in Vizag helps us to also tap into the Southeast Asian market as well. So our plan is that at least majority of the slag that we are generating will convert into a mineral fiber. So that's our 10-year plan in 2030, and I think that's the end of my presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking us through the journey. Now we come to the core ingredient of this gathering here. We have our pillar chairperson presenting their achievements and their processes. Start with, I would be requesting, we have, this was the schedule. So according to the schedule, we will be going ahead. The first pillar will have the JH Jisoo which is the primary pillar of TPM and the basic pillar for the cultural change. will be presented by the JA Chairman, Mr. Sanjay Parekh.
Respected leaders, sir, Pradeep sir, Ravi sir, guest and our team. Myself Sanjay Parekh, presenting JH. This is the background behind our triple M selection, how we have selected our 4 triple M. Machine areas difficult to clean, lubricate and inspect. Breakdown and quality defect due to poor care. Operators not having ownership to machine and product quality. Hard to access locations, source of contamination and frequent screen waste choking. Considering these our main areas, we have selected our 4 triple M's. This is our organization level master plan. This is our JH master plan, and according to our JH master plan, we have decided to roll out in April last week. This is our cross-functional team. Myself Chairman and Mr. T. Venkat Shiva Vice Chairman, and this is our all team members. These are some of the examples of our system before starting our TPM journey. This is for the coal handling plant. These are some of the images of RMHS, raw material handling system. This is for slag granulation. And this is for MDHS, mud hydraulic system. This is the major index covering JH step 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. JH step 0, know my machine, identification of cleaning of tools, mobilization of cleaning of tools, preparation of CLIT map and man machine mapping. This is the example for CHP. This is schematic diagram for our CHP and what area we have taken for triple M. This is for RMHS. This is for slag granulation. These are the cleaning tools we have identified for the step 0. And our all team members were using these cleaning tools by our own, and we have started our TPM with step 0. These boxes we have prepared in the field to keep the cleaning tools in proper manner, and daily we can get from that boxes. These are the initial CLIT map which we have prepared, and we have identified cleaning, lubrication and inspection locations for all triple M's. These are the man machine mapping. Our complete area we have divided in sub areas, and our team members we have made responsible for each areas. JH step 1. JH step 1, cleaning with meaning, identification of abnormalities and classification of abnormalities, rectification of abnormalities and debt removal, and audit. This is some of the images for our cleaning with meaning. Till now, we have identified these mentioned abnormalities and we have attended all the abnormalities till now. First, we have started with the identification of 7 types of abnormalities, and these are some of the examples we have put it for the minor flows, unfulfilled basic condition, hard to access, source of contamination. So, some example we have kept here. These are some of the examples for the abnormality rectification. On vibrating steel floor, there were so many earth strips were lying on the floor. It was obstructing our movement and it was difficult to clean the area. We have rerouted the earth strip and now this area is free for the man movement and easy to clean. Bottom one is the one fire hose was in damaged condition that we have replaced. This is the second example, BC1 tail end our coal handling plant. Guard was in such a manner, it was difficult to lubricate. Every time before lubrication, we have to open the guard. And ZSS junction box was installed on the guard. That guard we have modified and we have provided one small door and we have relocated the ZSS junction box. And bottom one is the DDVS2 side source of contamination that we have sealed with conveyor belt. This is top one is for the unsafe places. Step was too high. We have provided 2 steps for easy climbing. And bottom one is the unnecessary and non-urgent items that we have removed from all our triple M area. Now there is no unnecessary and non-urgent items. This is the step 1 audit summary. Step 2 major covering, identification of source of contamination and hard to access, restoration and improvement, removal of source of contamination and hard to access, and audit. In Step 2 journey, we have gone through 1-point lessons, timely audit, and daily Gemba. This is the same example as we have discussed earlier for the hard to access. This is the example for identification of source of contamination. In our coal handling plant, there are 2 dump hoppers in spare condition, dump hopper number 3 and 4. So there were 2 drain pipes were provided, and by that 2 drain pipes, material was falling on the floor, and these 2 vertical pipes were in the center of the working area. So man was hitting to that pipes. So we have relocated that drain pipes. Now all hose spillage is dumping directly on the BC1, and this area now safe to move. For the restoration and improvement, we have gone through analysis of source of contamination and hard to access, brainstorming, and improvement plan. This is one example for hard to access, hard to inspect, and hard to lubricate. On vibrating steel mortar and pulley area, we have to climb through our structure, and it was difficult to lubricate, inspect. So we have prepared one movable trolley with lockable wheels. So now it is easy to shift by 1 manpower, and by this we have achieved risk priority number has been reduced from 5 to 1, manpower requirement reduced from 2 to 1, and greasing time reduction has been reduced from 15 to 2. For this greasing time reduction, we have taken out one pipe from the guard. So now we did not have to open the guard to grease it. This is the example for hard to example of hard to clean. On DDPS2 backside, material was falling on the gratings. We have provided backside one conveyor belt sealing, and these gratings we have replaced with checker plate. So by this, cleaning time has been reduced from 30 minutes to 5 minutes, means 83% time reduction we have achieved. This is one more example for hard to access, hard to inspect and hard to lubricate. On the mud gun, as shown in the lab pic, we were using this type of tabs. So now we have provided platform with handrails. So now it is easy to access, easy to inspect and easy to lubricate. And by this, we have reduced our risk priority number from 4 to 2. And cleaning time has been reduced from 5 to 2 minutes. In hard to access, we have total identified 341 locations, and we have addressed all these 341 locations. This is the example for removal of source of contamination. As I have discussed earlier, DDPS2 backside was open. So now we have provided conveyor belt curtain. Now our no material is coming out from this screen backside. And by this, our cleaning frequency in a month has been reduced from 90 to 30. This is the second example for removal of source of contamination, as we have discussed earlier. For the source of contamination, we have identified 1050 locations and 1049 we have attended. One is pending. Its action plan is in next slide. This is our MDHS hydraulic pump. Its suction is leaking, and we have ordered our necessary part, and very soon we will attend it. This is the audit summary for step 2. Step 3. Step 3 is mainly preparing tentative standards and implementing tentative standards and audit. This is the example for the cleaning, lubrication, inspection and tightness. One example is we have here, and all the check sheet we have included Telugu language to easy understanding of our team. This is the CLIT map we have prepared for every triple M's. This is the example for the some of the indications we have made on the machine. This is the training on implementation of tentative standards. These are some of the visual control and indication. These are some more examples for the visual control and indication. These are some more images for the visuals. And this is the activity board for our all day-to-day activity planning and achievements. These are the check sheets we have made for our triple M members. Whenever our triple M members were going on the field, we were filling these check sheets, and by this we have reduced our CLIT time. This cleaning, lubrication and inspection time, as mentioned in this graph, we have reduced cleaning time by 41%, lubrication time reduced by 60%, and inspection time has been reduced by 70%. This is the step 3 audit summary. This is the overall equipment efficiency. We are still trying to improve much, and these are the OEE for our all triple M's. RMHS, CNP, mud gun and drill machine, and slag granulation. This is the PQ/CDSM table for before starting of TPM journey and as on date. This is a comparative. Some of the major targets we have taken based on PQ/CDSM and we have mentioned present status here. J step 4, we have started our journey. J step 4, major covering, identifying modules, preparing basic modules, educating modules, understanding the relations with the defect and breakdowns, and preparing technical training center. These are the major steps covered in the step 4, and Ravi San has completed its training first part. Thank you so much.
Going through the JS presentation, we understood the importance of various other pillars. And one of the main pillars of access support to JH is the planned maintenance. The presentation is rich, being given by Mr. Anthuma, the PM pillar chairperson.
So good morning. Myself Anand Kumar. I am the chairman of the PM pillar. On behalf of our entire PM team, I am very glad to give this presentation. So starting with the background. So you can see in the left hand side the background when we started the TPM journey. So low MTBF, high MTTR, and the maintenance information system is difficult to analyze, and high maintenance cost, and high number of equipment failures. So during the TPM journey, we achieved the high MTBF and less MTTR, and the information system easy to analyze, and the maintenance cost has got reduced, and the equipment failures are zero. This is a master plan of the entire organization. So we plan to kick off in the month of April. From that, we derived the PM master plan. So now we are in the month of April, and we are in the stage of kickoff. So these are the 4 triple machines which we identified when we started the TPM journey. One plant, RMHS, slag granulation, and mud and drilling machine. And this is the index of the presentation, starting with the 1S, 2S, 3S activities. PM step 1 to step 4. Starting with the 1S, 2S, 3S activities. This is the initial stage of the TPM journey. So we segregated the equipments and those which are unnecessary and unwanted are removed, and we kept everything in order. This is an example of the 1S, 2S, 3S activities we have done in the CHT. So you can see the risk index has come down from 4 to 1. And we have given training on the abnormalities to the operators of the triple machine. And we assisted the JS team in preparing the man machine mapping. And we assisted the JS team in preparing the CLAT map for all equipments. This is an example of equipment in the CHT. Starting with the step 1. And these are the sequence of procedures we followed in the step 1. It's a support and guidance to JH activities. So, the first stage is educating the operators about the machines and its components, and assisting the team in removing the red tags. You can see the graph of red tags in the 4 triple machines. All are attended, only one is pending, and we have action plan for that. So in total there are 6384 abnormalities we identified in triple machines, and we attended 6383. Only one is pending, and we have action plan for that. And this is action plan, and we are waiting for the component, and we will revisit by the end of July. And this is we assisted in doing countermeasures against the hard to clean. You can see here the material spill on the checker plate. It's very difficult to pick it up and clean. So we put a checker plate here over the replace the plating. Now this place is very easy to clean now. So by this process, the cleaning time has reduced from 30 to 5 minutes. It's 83% reduction in the cleaning time. Beyond that, besides that, we have a heat and clean area, and it's a chance of that slip and tumbling eliminated. And this is one example of the source of contamination. You can see here the back side of the screen is open, and it is resulting in the spillage of material at the time of running. So we put a rubber button here, so the dust and the material get contained within the hopper itself, which is not getting spilled out now. So by these modifications, the cleaning time has reduced from 3 times in a day to once in a day. So this is a summary of the hard to access points identified during the TPM journey. Therefore, triple machines. Nothing is pending, all are completed. And this is a list of summary of the SOCs, and only one pending that we discussed in the previous slide. And we assisted the team in preparing the tentative standards. This is an example of a tentative standard prepared. You can see here this is the lubrication standard prepared for the triple machine. For each component, we mentioned the type of grease to be used and which equipment has to be used, tool has to be used for greasing, and what frequency and what quantity. So you can see here the M is indicates the monthly frequency, and the circle indicates the type of grease to be used. So this gives easy identification to the operator who are the shop floor, so that they can do the lubrication on them. And this is a typical example of the operator who are doing greasing by themselves. So in general, normally the maintenance team, in other plant you might have seen the maintenance team doing the greasing one. After giving training to the operator themselves have started doing the greasing. So this is the transformation we have seen in the TPM journey. And this is the analysis of present status. Means the beginning of the TPM journey, you can see there are so many breakdowns in the beginning stage, and now it has come to 0. We achieved this through the procedure of preparing this breakdown matrix. So we have done probable reason for the failure of the components. These are the reasons, and we listed out the numbers, frequency, how many times it got written down, and what is the time to repair it. So over the period of TPM journey, we rectified all those, we eliminated all those breakdowns. Now you can see there is no breakdown. So this is a tool we used for the breakdown elimination. This is the viable elimination. Each and every breakdown we do the viable analysis and identify the root cause and do the countermeasures, and we eliminate the root cause for the failure. And this is a graph indicating the mean time between failure. You can see in the beginning the mean time between failures is less, and over the period of TPM journey it has got increased. This is the graph indicating the mean time to repair. You can see at the end now the entity has come down tremendously. And going to step 2. So step 2 indicates the restoration and improvement of the depleted equipments, and these are the sequences we followed in this step. So this is an example of the case sheet we prepared to counter the life of the equipment. This is the screen cloth. You can see the screen cloth life was 90 days in the beginning. Now we change the orientation. We have done a case and we change the orientation of the screen cloth opening. That way we get a life of 120 days now. But still we are working on this to further improve its life. By this process, the mean time between failure also has increased. And we have done the equipment tracking in the stage, the process of the zero breakdown. So we have done equipment tracking, and based on the criticality, we have formatted the maintenance procedures. There are 986 equipments in the plant, and in particular in triple machines there are 81 equipments, 46 equipments in CHD, and 7 equipments in mud drilling machine, and 28 equipments in the armatures. There is no S class category. So this is the procedure we followed to identify the correct maintenance practices, because there are different types of maintenance practices, and this is the procedure we followed. So this is a tabulated form. So the CBM, the equipment which are having the parts which can be whose life can be predicted are gone in a TBM, this time-based maintenance. The equipments which whose life cannot be predicted, they gone in CBM, and this is the procedure we followed in the zero breakdown process. And this is the case for NTBF we discussed in the previous slide. And this is one more case we have followed to eliminate the breakdown of the screen cloth structure. You can see on the left hand side the screen cloth structure, it is getting failed every once in 6 months. So we have done Kaizen, we improved the material and we changed the material, and because of which the life was increased to 12 months. Still it is running. We targeted for 12 months, but still it is running. And this is the Kaizen summary. Total 141 Kaizens identified in triple machines, and all are implemented. And this is a step 3 approach. So in step 3 we have formatted the tentative standards for the maintenance procedures. This is the maintenance plan. So we have done equipment tracking. Then we formatted the maintenance plan. That's you can see the frequency, and you can see the plan for every month, against every month. So against every equipment we formatted the checklist, what to check and at what frequency. And this checklist we are filling every month, and we are following it. Same thing. And we followed the 5W1H principle. Who will do the maintenance activity, and what activity he has to do, and what tool he has to use, and how he has to do, and how much time it takes. These are standardized now. So even any person can go and do this maintenance. And we are in the process of step 4. See, step 4 we are total inspection of quality function, and this is the sequence we are following in the step 4. Let's prepare the general inspection sheets to identify the minor flaw, and identify the equipment affecting the quality functions, and identify the quality components, updating the JH and PM checklists, and QM component matrix. So now we are in the process of step 4. Thank you.
Setting up the plan to the basic condition would not suffice the need of the organization. Losses needs to be addressed. KK pillar, which basically looks into these losses, and that is in losses, will be presented by the Vice Chairman of KK, Mr. Shethudan Singh.
Good morning, I am Shethudan Singh. As a Vice Chairman, I am presenting details of KK pillar activity. Basically, unawareness about 16 type of losses, high setup and changeover losses, high manufacturing cost, unrestructured system of loss cancelling, and low OE is our background. Now we are very keen to improve our OE master plan. This is the master plan for organization. It consists of KK pillar, structured way of reducing the losses, understand the system, and try to find out the various causes of the fault. This is the master plan. consisting of various steps, and it is showing the period from last around 20 months we are performing the survey. Focus improvement. Focus improvement basically to improve the things at various levels. These steps are helping us select team and topic is the step 0, then understand the situation, then expose the eliminate abnormalities, analyze cause. Analyze causes is the basic tool to know the countermeasure. Plan improvement. What improvement is to be done? After that, implementation is to be carried out. After completion of this implementation, we have to check result and consolidate gain. Index. KG step 0, 1 less 2 years activity. Then understand situation, expose abnormalities and eliminate, analysis the causes and plan improvement. And improvement plan, check result and consolidate gain. Step 0 basically to select the team and topics with 1 years, 2 years, 3 years activity, cross-functional team. Then this is the fourth segment of our triple M team. Our Tripathi Mr. P. Tripathi is the chairman, and we have picked up the various colleagues from our triple M team segment. KG step 1, understand the situation. This is the basic things for step 1. Identify high losses process, measurement of different losses, and basis on the baseline data, setting target. It helps us through methodology also, sorting out the major losses based on time-based, cost-based, and weight-based losses. Here, in step, applicable losses are shown. Out of that, 14 losses are applicable in our segment out of 16. And these losses are classified in the GSP, RMHS, NCR, and THS, that is about the triple and 4 segment. Here, example of measurement of applicable losses. RMHS losses is under the heading of mechanical, electrical instrumentation. We capture the data pathways. Our benchmark, like setup and changeover losses. In our MAD plant grizzly system, we had a thing 42 hours in a month or 40 days in a month. Equipment failure losses is 5.4 days in a month. These two are major concern for us, which we have taken on priority. Step 2. In step 2, identification of 7 types of abnormalities, restore deterioration and correct the minor flaws, establish basic equipment condition. These 7 types of losses, starting with the minor flaw, unfulfilled basic condition, RQSS. With the help of this activity, we are supporting to our GST. Here, grading has been replaced by the Chatham date, and this guidance has been done by our team. Clean time has been reduced by 83%. Here, in the FED north of area, lot of source of contamination has been found. We have provided containment box and restricted the source of contamination. In the double-decker biometric screen, rear side, we have provided the used conveyor belt and restricted the source of contamination, and cleaning time required once in a per day in place of thrice in a day. Step 3 is analysis of the causes, which is the major tool for us. Identify and analyze causes, apply analytical technique for analysis, conduct various equipment for solution. Here we would like to emphasize this charts are showing this setup and changeover losses is the major concern for us, 342.63 hours, and second is the equipment failure, that is 130.75 hours. We concentrated on last 4-5 months these two losses. Here this certification of losses shown in the various point segment. This is also 342 hours details of activity cleaning up ground hopper and grizzly, screen, fines, dumper, repositioning, in the pipe connect conveyor, etc. So now our target to reduce these losses. This is the target we have taken. Analytical technique for bottleneck, why analysis, why choking up grizzly, why uncontrolled dump accumulation, why filling up grizzly void by non-uniform material. Actually, we were not getting the free flow of the material on the grizzly. For that, we did the Tyson. We have modified the basis of this grizzly. Swing boxes has been provided and 2 unbalanced water has been provided, which help us to get the free flow of the material through the conveyor and reduces the lot of timing, idle time, and improve the availability of the equipment. Plant improvement. Anything plant we seen in the site, we have to select the point and then plan for improvement. Through make improvement proposal and prepare drawing. Compare cost effectiveness and identify the optimum solution. Check possibility. And this we have cost benefit analysis we have done it. For grizzly system we have capital investment of around 5 lakhs for the management and 7.5 lakhs is the overall saving. Earlier we planned for improvement. Now this is the area we are implementing the improvement. Implementation of improvement, perform various trial run, providing training on improved equipment process and operation condition. These are very important. What we did is we are capitalizing, we are trying to train people to move further. What big losses? We spoke about already spoke about the grizzly system. Here, 159 hours per month has been come to almost zero level to get the free flow of the material. Second Tyson for in the ground water fabrication system, we have provided VFD. Through VFD, we are regulating the flow of material. Third one is in the 518 conveyor, some obstruction has been observed, which has been clear, which help us to clean time reduce from 30 to almost 5 minutes. Two big losses. As my colleagues also shown earlier, this lateral structure provided in the double decker diabetic system, which is giving very good life cycle. We have already provided this one and almost 14 months has over. It is still under observation. Tyson summary. This 141 Tyson is the total. CHP is 70, RMHS 49, MDHS 22. And this is the seat for various segments. Step 6. This is the checkpoint. What we did the implementation of various improvement, evaluate the result as per the timeline, check whether target is achieved or not. If not, start with the step 3 again. Checklist. Here we like to say, this grizzly system is having 3 for 2 hours. It has been reduced to 81.7. And this equipment failure in all 4 segments was for 30 hours approximately. It has been reduced to 0 hours. So these 2 things we have considered and put lot of effort, and this is the result. And it comes under a step 6 check result. And the scientific way of analyzing the thing parameter chart, it is also showing first line is 342. This is the setup and changeover losses. Second is the equipment failure losses. After that, it is showing equipment failure losses 0 and it is showing around 81.87, which is considerably reduced. Step 7, consolidate, prepare the inspection and work standard. Main thing is that train operator and operators to sustain the result. This is the basic thing. We have all the KD steps, things. Consolidated gain, 7.58 lakhs, 0, setup time 0, and breakdown also 0. This is the result we got it. Thank you.
Well, safety is the basic necessity applicable to all foreign conditions. And to explain this, may I invite the HS Pillar Chairman, Mr. Surya.
Good morning, sir. My name is Surya. I am Chairman of EHS Pillar. To start this, as a come to dignitaries and my colleagues, in TPM journey, you'll see the sheep pillar, the supporting pillar. And as Neeraj sir told, when we do TPM, the morale of the people will increase definitely by doing all these activities. This I'm going to create safe work environment and free from occupational hazards and free from environment, polluted environment. So these are the backgrounds. You can see that the background what we have taken is normally for any industry. Like workplace injuries are very critical, and also risk management. You see that there are a lot of things like Hajab and HIRA. So we kind of, but the effectiveness of that will play a vital role. And incidents at workplaces and legal compliances and poor awareness on EHS practices. Though we do some practices, but still people. So waste management. These are the major critical components which are taken. So aim is to identify maximum unsafe conditions and unsafe practices which create an unsafe environment, and to increase awareness of the effective usage of risk management. It's very critical. So by supporting from our all other pillars, that will help us to increase all these things, because by conducting OPLs, guidance, all these things, and reduce incidents by eliminating hazards which we identified, and strengthening of legal compliance with updated action rules to have enhanced EHS profile, health, safety, and well-being at all levels. And zero waste discharge by following reduce, recycle, and reuse. In one of the best example, but our DMD Sarda like briquetting plant, and we are going to set up a mineral wool like plant. And this is a master plan. We have started a journey, as our senior police told. And this is the EHS plant which we have. And though this is my team, but these are all my team who are in the organization which supports me. And this is the team just they support, but the major is all other team members which they support. Without their support, we can't achieve our goals. So myself, Surya Bhaskar, and my colleague Mr. Srinivas and Mr. Satish, the team members. And so we have targets like setting of targets like zero accident, zero injury, zero environment in the sense, preventing recurrence of accidents, the major one, and safety training and practice, and ergonomics and workplace exposure monitoring, and countermeasures measures like conducting one-point lessons and guidance and evaluation of trainings. Giving training is not this one, but evaluating training, because that will help us to reduce the workplace injuries. So our key targets is zero injury as a safety point of view, and zero occupational point of view, and zero environment incidents like dust emissions. So some actual figures for the past years we have targeted what we and reduction of hazardous wastes based on the actuals and the targets, like raw water consumption, reduction of raw water consumption. And through the TPM journey, there are various improvements on like PM10 point, PM10, PM2.0, these emissions. And our approach methodology, prevention of occurrence, accident, and prevention of recurrence of accidents. The approach methodology, you can see that prevention of recurrence of accidents, like understanding the present strategy and analyze the data and identify root cause and implement Kaizen or countermeasures. It's a one part, like system part. And apart from this, awareness and education, there's another part like GHS inspection to show that inspection which helps us to improve our safety. And patrolling like multidisciplinary teams will have a safety inspection, like for mechanical and instrumentation and process teams. So they have the one, and we do inspection like that also, the hazard mapping and maintaining activity. Like we work beyond standard. Like you can see that providing a guard to emission, it's a normal, but we provide a guard which is easy to operate. It's easy to for accident. So you can you have seen that how do we do, and induction for UM process. And all these things lead to identifying unsafe condition, unsafe actions, and whatever we have procedures like safety manuals and all. We give education, training and all this. So apart from that, we take countermeasures and preventive measures. So safety monitoring, patrolling, and as I told you, behavior-based safety. This behavior-based safety, and we go for any inspection by other team or team members. So they observe, they wait, and they monitor person how he is acting. And if any good like wearing PPs, we appreciate him. And if any part, then we will rectify there itself by counseling the persons. And identifying and certain list of major and minor accidents and safety performance. And we do conduct training on various aspects like work permit system and behavior-based system, and like work permit audits. So all these things lead to create awareness. So these are the 2 glimpses of training we have conducted, like fire safety, and not only classroom training, we go on the field and we conduct activity-based safety training programs. And these are some number of, and as I told, we will evaluate and randomly how they absorb the what training we have given. Likewise, we have conducted almost 789 participants who are there, and we conducted random survey of 34 persons how they told it. Like mock drills, these are all create awareness, emergency, in case of emergency, how the people has to do without any budget practices. And these are some lectures like how do we have teams based on our incident we go. Based on teams we do it, like trippings, slippings. So these are the before and after, you can see that. And examples of behavior safety, how the people behave. So we will rectify on the spot, we will not wait. So these are some unsafe conditions and uses. So there is accidents and in fact almost all no major accidents. So health monitoring, like workplace health monitoring, we do conduct, like providing appropriate PPs based on the activities. And we do counseling if they fail to wear all these things. And this type of workplace exposure monitoring. We do conduct annual medical checkup, that is one of the activity. And ergonomic point of view, yes, this is one critical activity. And 4 to 5 people used to poke the material and greasily. So we do risk assessment on the activity, how the risk assessments are there. So this is earlier people used to poke the material, 3 to 4 people involved in that. This is the thing. So number of people, 2 people, and 400 times a shift they have to poke the total grizzly by conducting this kaizen. So almost all it came to 1 because 1 person, and he need not go for every time because the grizzly was affecting. So he may go for just inspection purpose only. Now this was reduced, risk was reduced to 1. And this is the unsafe condition. We will not wait for any unsafe condition that need to be rectified on the spot immediately. We will not have any pending activities from unsafe classes. And thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Now the focus will shift to customer satisfaction with adherence to quality index, which is basic need and the primary need of any organization. And to take us through the quality journey of TPM, may I invite the QM Pillar Chairman, Mr. Chitranjan Sahu.
Good afternoon, sir. I am Chitranjan Sahu, Chairman, QM Pillar. Good afternoon, sir. Neeraj sir. And good afternoon to Sani sir. Good afternoon to Ravi sir. This is company's profile. The background and aim. Our background is the customer complex. And aim is to minimize to 0 customer complaints. And number out of specification of production. Our aim is reduction out of specification production. Then time for analysis and and standardized time for analysis. A total number of samples for analysis and reduce the number of samples for analysis. This is cross-functional teams with all MMM members. This is the master plan and the main function, main object of our given pillar is to minimize, to customer complaints should be zero and defect should be minimized. So this is the target and achievement target. This is a master plan as per the Step 1, confirming the present status. Step 2 for query. Step 3 for survey and analysis problem conditions. Step 4 is study, Ugai and restore manufacturers. So they are the targets reset and achieve. This is the index. Here step 1, step 2, step 3 and step 4. Now up to step 3 we have list and step 4 is in process. This step 1 approach, step 1, confirm quality standards, flow charts for each process, and survey and assessment of quality data. This is quality standards. This is the raw material requirement and the grade and the specification of the required raw materials, considering the finished products. As far as sellable materials, these are four types of grades are available with certain specification: manganese, silicon, iron, and phosphorus. And same way as quartz with minimum 97%. And the reductants, coke and coal, and dolomite. This is quality standards for finished products. So we are producing prime materials, chips, and fines. Prime material mainly depending on the size 10 to 100 and 10 to 50, manganese minimum 65% and silicon 16%. So on the basis, the specification and for ferromanganese for the minimum section is 75% and silicon is 1.5%. This is quality checkpoints for FAT process. Incoming raw material, chemical element analysis, size analysis, and RMS bin sample moisture analysis, tapping sample and slag metal analysis, and dispersed material grade analysis and size analysis. And quality checkpoint in power plant process, incoming coal, moisture analysis and tissue analysis. And coal bunker analysis, moisture analysis, tissue analysis. Silo bias, this is loss or ignition. This is the example flow chart of each process. There is one process for analysis procedure is repeated step by step, but all elements is way to follow. This is quality analysis of incoming raw materials. This is one example for manganese ore, which contains manganese deposition and manganese quality and phosphorus quantity. In first one, the manganese is within acceptable limit, and phosphorus also in acceptable limits. This is quality analysis of cutting materials. In first graph, green line is the minimum requirement 65, but we are getting except 2 or 3 times. Every time we are getting as per the specification. And sulfur also only once, except once every time we are getting within specification. And carbon also 1, 2 times that is deviation, otherwise rest of the time it is within specification. This is customer complaint. Order versus complaint. This order versus the upper line is the order and the red color, brown color is the number of complaints. And second one is the resolutions. The red color is the resolution in last year under process. This is a priority chart. Last year we had some carbon deficiency and carbon complaint. So this is carbon related priority chart we are showing here. This is how we are usually resolving quality complaints in export and domestic. This is for export. At the end, on the input of small QC and marketing and third-party analysis, the marketing people are solving the problems at the end. This is the resolution of domestic complaints. So that here also at the end third-party analysis is final and binding. This is step 2 PA matrix. So this is the defect related to grade. So these are certain points where we can defect may occur. There are different steps where defect may occur. And the second type is product defects. Product defects last, there is only size analysis, and the porosity depends on the smelting furnace, and the last 3 points is the size and loading. This is survey of core and conditions, and survey of analysis of core and conditions. Core and conditions, first one is core and conditions, second division wise survey, third core and conditions, preparation for defective points. This is core and conditions, man, machine, material and method. So here only there is a defect, chances of defect in machine, that is the red color we have depicted, the elimination of material in discharge plants. This is division wise survey of core and conditions. The material is processing some different activities are there, from grizzly to HEBS2. So there are 4 machine related problems, material related problems in DMARS. And in method, so every activity, which method and where problem may occur. This is high-way analysis. This is a problem for carbon analysis. If fines content will go to furnace board, then there is a chances of carbon deficiency. So to reduce the that YY analysis we have done it, less than 6% of fines going to furnace, so the carbon deficiency is very less. So this is the so for that purpose this is the YY analysis. This is core and condition preparation of defective points. So here only there are 4 points where standard not followed. The 4 points where the cross symbol is there, standard not followed. So that it defects they are facing. This is countermeasure for restoration. Least preparation for deviation in the final product. Second, countermeasures. Check and restore equipment conditions, equipment kaizen and preparation. List of deviation in final product. In financial 21-22, this is the number of complaints in 21-22. In 2021, in 2022, subsequently in quarter 4 it is reduced to 0, and only 2 points. One is for silicon 0.1 and for manganese 0.02. This list of completed action as per core and conditions. Here also man, material, machine, method is there. Here also in machine standard mesh, the red, yellow color, that is also standard mesh. We have done some activities in standard mesh. Now it is rectified. The operating case standards. Case standards we have to follow cleaning and inspection. The 2 rounded figures, one is cleaning and one is the second one is inspection. This is 1 point lesson. So here we have seen not standard practice. In first figure, the chips and fines are going there. So this is the practice is not standard. Now we have changed to standard practice and the mesh is changed, and now no fines chips are gathering here. So this is 1 point lesson. The guidance for elevation deviating in government. Here in first figure, there was in first figure it was the activity where material being passes through to furnace, going to furnace. But due to some reason, moisture also and the angle of the beam. The fines are being accumulated there. Up to 100 kg fines are being accumulated there. So we have done some diagram, doing some changes in angle of the beam, so that now the fines is reduced to 100 kg to 1 kg max. This is carbon related complaints we have received in 2021. So in 2021 we have received 8 complaints, doing some kaizen and some activities. Now it is 0. This is manual related complaint. Earlier in 2021 there are 5 complaints. Now it is 0. This is called as figure 8 or infinity loop. So there are 8 activities involved in this here. There is one for identify existing situation to maintain conditions. The 7 points, we have to go to 7 points. After that, we have to reach sustainability, and that sustainability will continue this figure 8. This is future plan up to 23. Elimination of production of less than 16% silicon and elimination of production more than 10% fines. This is the system plan, actual plan. Thank you, sir.
Now, knowledge, skills and applications, they play a vital role in implementation of any existing process or taking forward any new process that comes into an organization. And to take you through the ENT pillar, I would request myself, I'm the chairman of ENT, I request myself Murali Krishna to take us through the ENT presentations. So once again, a warm welcome and a very good morning to you all. Taking you through the ENT pillar presentation. This is the cross-functional team, though it looks very me, the chairman, and I'm supported by 3 people, but as you see through all of the presentations, the OBS and training programs happening, each and every person in this organization has been a trainer or a student at one point in time. So, but to put it straight, my cross-functional team of ENT pillar is Murali Krishna, Tapan Kole, Kondar Rao, and Prashant. These 3 people are from the different MMA models. The background and the aim, as you can see here, there seems to be when we started this journey, we analyzed and we found skill gap between the desired and the actuals. There were quality defects and breakdowns due to skill gap, accidents, near miss due to skill gap, high manpower due to absence of multi-skilling. So the aim is, in fact, I can say the antonym or countermeasure of all this, to train workers, to eliminate quality defects, eliminate accidents, and to optimize manpower cost by developing multi-skilling. This is the overall organization plan, which we have been showing in all other pillar presentations. This is the ENT pillar. This is a master plan for ENT. The actuals and the plan are shown here. Though the training was started some time back, but due to COVID, we couldn't take it from there because we were trying to avoid group gatherings. So we started the journey from here, but once we started, we are there on targets. There's not much or negligible difference between the plan and the actuals. The index, as you can see, the training and evaluation methodology, the results, and the future plan. After a lot of brainstorming, we have zeroed on the scope of training to these 5 parameters. Safety, process, quality, basic engineering and systems. We wanted all our participants, all our operators, all our members to be trained and to be on level 4. What is level 4? We'll come to the next point. On all these 4 parameters. So now we are going to do that. This is the methodology. Start, we are evaluating through a skill matrix. Before that, we don't have any scientific approach towards what we are supposed to do. We prepare training calendar. We go ahead and give the training programs, but we thought, for operator levels, let's prepare the skill matrix, a scientific approach. A lot of team members, the team leaders, the pillar chairman, from all elements we sat together, we had a brainstorming, and then we came up with, what the skill matrix should look like. I'll show you a glimpse of that one, what exactly skill matrix looks like. The evaluation of skill matrix, identifying gaps of the skill matrix integrate, the preparation of training modules, training calendar, training programs, post-training evaluations, measuring effectiveness. If there is gaps found now, then again going to the same program. Yes. The next skill upgradation. So this is in short the scope and 5 parameters, and this is the evaluation or training methodology. Now this is it's not just exactly the snapshot of various training programs conducted. I've taken a few topics here. Who are the trainers? These are all our internal trainers. Number of participants in each training program. What is the duration of each training program? How many needs covered? So you can see there were total of 628 participants. Of course, there were almost close to 136 odd training programs. Duration and days. Here I'm exclusively talking about the training programs conducted on Gemba, Audit, the classrooms. I'm not including the OPLs. This is how our skill matrix was designed. This is an example of a desk operator from the CHP MMM. Based on the 5 parameters, the scope that I've shown you, this is functional knowledge, safety, quality, basic engineering and system. These were the questions set. For this parameter, this was the question set, and this is an example of the desk operator at the CHP MMM. And these are the index, as you can see. This is should be for each skill set. For this desk operator, this is should be, and what is his actual skill set now, and what is the skill gap. If there is skill gap, when is the training plan? If the training is planned, has it been completed or not? It's trained, so it's completed. This is an example of one desk operator at CHP. Likewise, we have done for all the operators or all the people involved in the MMMs. This is just an example. And now, if I take you forward, we have plotted the same in the skill radar. If you can see the level 1, 2, 3, 4, this is level 1, 2, 3 and 4. 4 is I know, I can do, I can teach. Level 1, I don't. So this is basically, the parameter set. And if I plot it against this skill radar parameter, for one particular operator mapped it, before training, this was skill set. Safety, systems, basic engineering quality, this was skill set. The red one, or it should be 4. The actual is in the green, and the gap is in red. This is pre-training skill level, whatever skill radar. Post training, this is skill radar. So before this training, this was the gap. After training, the gap has come down. Like what I showed you, the skill radar for one particular operator. Now, if I take the entire mapping of 1 MMM, this is how it shows. For CHP 1 MMM, I've taken the average, the consolidated reports of the MMM members. This was a pre-training skill radar, and this is post-training. Pre-training, this was the skill gap. Post-training, you can see improvement in the skills. Pictures of training program, you might have seen in all of the presentations. All the MMMs members have their own training programs happening. So as a ENT pillar chairperson and my team, we are basically doing what is coordination between the trainer and the trainee. So you can see these are the picture representations of the training program that happened at the Gemba on the floor. I'm sure you might have seen all the pictures in other presentations. There's training programs. And these are some classroom trainings. This is a brainstorming session. We have some classroom trainings. We have new concept coming up that we can't do it on the Gemba. We try to do it here, then we try to implement it in the Gemba. As I showed you, the number of training programs conducted is not inclusive of these OBLs. The one-point lesson has been explained, has come up through in various presentations. So the number of one-point lessons in total, are they also based on capturing few OBLs. So this is the total number of IPS that we have done until now, and this is the number of workers and co-workers covered under the OBL. This is a snapshot of how the OBL runs, so the teacher becoming the student, student becoming the teacher, and again the teacher becoming the student. This is how it runs. Our future plan, if I look at my basic intention as a TNT pillar achievement is to see to it that all the people involved in the TPM post because we will be going across and spreading across the organization, lot many circles will be formed. Now my basic intention and my basic goal would be to see to it that all the people of the organization, off roles or on roles, should be multi-skilled and should be able to be there on the level 4 wherein they can be the teachers. And these are the few training topics that I have identified, but I will say that training would be a continuous process. But having said that, I have taken certain deadlines. We see to it that we do our best to achieve the deadlines based on these parameters, but it's a continuous process. The continuous process of training will be happening. Thank you. Now one of the support pillars and the last pillar is the Office TPM. To take us through the journey of Office TPM, may I request Mr. Chandrasekhar, who is the chairman of Office TPM.
Good morning, one and all. Myself Chandrasekhar, representing Office TPM pillar of Sarda Metals and Alloys Limited. We have outlined some background where implementation of GH in office and aim easy retrieval of the documents and clean offices, procurement of lead time, reduction of lead time, GRL processing, reduction of GRL processing lead time, HR practices. We have adopted some good HR practices, and in future we have also a plan to make a more and more visualization of across the plant. I am a chairman of this Office TPM pillar. We have made up different circles from the cross-functional team like purchase, HR, IT and stores. In future we have a plan of add some more supportive functions to complete at organization level. This is a master plan at organization level. In line with the master plan of organization level, we have prepared our OTPM master plan also, where we have formation of circles and practices of GH, step 1 and step 2, step 3, as well as Kaizen activities also. For awareness of the team, we have imparted trainings by external as well as internal trainers, through trainers at different dates. These are the glimpses. During the journey of TPM, we have observed some abnormalities in offices where we have tagged with a red and white tag, and we have made a countermeasures of those, and some of the pending activities are there that needs to be addressed in the near future, like a complete office renovation is going on. These are the abnormality tag metrics, where each and every abnormalities has been classified in a different heads for the easily identification and avoiding the reoccurrence of that abnormalities. As a base of the TPM, 5S we have adopted in our stores as well as in office and in our canteen area. Just you can see what is the before, what was the before and what is the after picture, the reorganization. Similarly, in office also, we have affixed each and every nameplate and tagged with the different numbers where easily we can identify the office fixtures and everything. Here, before and after pictorial is present. Visual management controls. These are the examples of visual management. As a part of Kaizen activities, we have identified some processes and we have taken two processes for the onward Kaizen activities. One of them is a purchase lead time. To make any improvement plan, first we have to visualize our process. For visualizing our process, just we have prepared a CPOC. CPOC is nothing but how many stakeholders are there, what are the inputs and what is the process. It shows like a supplier who is a supplier, whether it's a document or it's a information. Similarly, input, what input do you require for the processing of for completion of the process. And the process, conversion of purchase requisition to purchase order release. Output, what is the final output? And who is the receiver at final, who is going to receive the document. Here it is a vendor. Based on this report, we have drawn here complete process flow of purchase requisition to purchase order in a swim lane. Since it is a lengthy process, so we have broken into two processes. One is the purchase requisition to technical recommendation up to from comparative statement to purchase order release. This process we have make it visual, and thereafter this process has been broken into a different activities at a micro level, so that we can know where is the time going and where is the time we can save by eliminating the idle loss and simplifying the process. These are the micro level activities. If you see here, we have marked as the idle loss. This we can eliminate. Here also idle loss. This we can eliminate. In future, we have a plan to take a Kaizen and we can certainly reduce this lead time. This lead time we can certainly reduce. Now the second process is material receipt to GRM preparation. Similarly, we have made CPOC and make visualize our process. This process has been broken into a micro level activities. Here we have identified one idle loss is there. In future, we will take a Kaizen and we will eliminate this loss. We have a very good practices of HR. Before COVID, we have a attendance system by card punching. Post COVID, we have installed improvised. Thank you.
Well, this actually concludes the presentation by the village chairpersons. We are going to go for a break now, and as the schedule has been already announced, I request all the guests present here to go and meet in the project office boardroom, take a small break, and then we can move ahead to the our elections. So then, one and all the guests here, and All our employees and all event people, the schedule has been shared with you. You are all requested to be assembling at
please.
Nice to meet you. Mr. Das, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to have you here. And I think we are lucky that you are here on a very momentous occasion for the organization. No, you are not interrupting. Actually, you are actually helping us out. I got a question. It's a friendship.
बैठने कर रहा मैक्सिमम అది ఒకసారి ఫోకస్ సెంటర్ పెయింట్ ఒకసారి ఉండదు ఫోకస్ ఒక రెడీయా రెడీ కదా
Plantation just lunch ke baad. नहीं, just after kick off plantation. Then we'll go to for the lunch. Ball particular.
Ask everybody to stand in the outer circle. बाहर एक सर्कल बना है. Correct.
Form a circle. Outer circle. Form a circle. Who is here? यहाँ एक बच गया. You can have one of the guests over here. Here. Hey Babu, all done. All done. Yeah. That's good. So this is the formal kickoff ceremony that we are going to do. And then this is our TPM actual circuit we have done. This is what we are kicking off from one place to another. And we go from one person to another. So as it's a football, we cannot hand it over by hand. What we are doing is, it was initiated by the MD. So the MD will be there in the center. calls for final approval. And then this is the first action. The next action is we have an outer circle for the other people who are involved in this activity. But we will spread ourselves backward and join the outer circle. This circle is a large circle. We can expand it. That's the end of it.
Sir. Sir, close.
Cameras ready?
Oath. Manjay.
I will spread out change across the organization.
Well done.
I will ensure implementation of change across the plan. Will ensure the spread of TPM and will ensure that it is followed religiously. I being the vice chairman of PM pillar, I ensure that TPM will be implemented across the organization.
As a vice chairman of KK, I will ensure TPM activity will be spread all over the plant. I am Surya Bhaskar, chairman of EHS pillar. Whatever 3M practices will roll out all out the organization of EHS practices.
I am Charan Sound, chairman of given pillar, and whatever the way learn and practice, we ensure to roll over all over the plants.
I am only the chairman of ENT pillar, resolved to spread across the ENT pillar across the organization. I'm just in the terrace.
You don't need to take a oath, you can just...
Working for Eramet and the manganese ore supplier to Sarda, and I will try to do the best for making this BMT Cup successful. Thank you. Let's move. Yeah, now officially all of us have declared. Now we are merging ourselves with the rest of the team of the plant. So we move backwards and join the outer circle. Please. Yes, sir. I also. Yeah.
Take the ball with me.
The leg is left leg. Who can really do that?
Everyone should join. Please join everyone. All available employees, please come. Whoever is here and working here has to join the circle. Come, join us. बाहर से आके चीज करो या
गोले अरे गोले हाँ देर पकड़ना है जोर से मारेंगे मतलब जोर से टीपीएम इम्प्लीमेंटेशन
వైట్ కొంచెం
వాళ్ళ నేమ్ కూడా ఇటువైపు వచ్చినట్టు.
ఓకే సార్ కొంచెం సైడ్ సార్ క్లోజ్ సార్.
Sir, so you have to be at the center. Sir, Ravi next you have to come. Little bit come to there. Yes. Yeah. Just for me, I think so. A lot of people can.
धीरे धीरे और तीसरा జూమ్ చేసి ఆటోలో పెట్టి ఆటో ఏమో నేను చూడలేదు. ఓకే రెడీ. ఓకే రెడీ సార్. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
రే లాంగ్ లుక్ తీసుకురా రే. లాంగ్ వైడ్ రా. వైడ్ కార్లో వస్తారా? ఏంటి కొంచెం సైడ్ ఇవ్వండి సార్. Slow, sir.
Yes, sir. Sir, you have to be at the center. Sir. Ravi next, you have to come. Little bit come to sir. Yes. Yeah. Aajo bhai, aajo. Come. Fast. Yes. Okay, all done. Chairman and Chowda leather.
Okay, ready? Okay, ready, sir? Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.